2 o'clock on Friday morning. Um, I just went to sleep when I got in. Nothing really exciting to add there. I've got a weekend planned. I guess the thing I'm ready to clean up in here in the morning. When the sun comes up and I'm able to vacuum. I will need to. Otherwise, I'm planning for the weekend. That's the goal over the next couple of hours. I'm going to need to. I was planning on hitting pile. I guess. I guess it would be tonight now. It's gonna be a long day. Um, it's an early show. I should be back before midnight. Like I think that the event listing says the show is over at 11. I think that even if it's over at 11:30, I got plenty of time to get back, kind of thing. Um, this is an even longer walk. It's a little bit further than the long walk. We've been here before, but it's lengthy. I'm not. I'm gonna listen to it a little bit more carefully. I've already seen Pile twice since I moved here. Um, and it's fun and everything. It's a good show. I don't want to downplay it. It's just that there's some other things this month. I'm gonna take a look at the opening band, and that's gonna be kind of more contingent. I was hoping that I'd walk out of the court yesterday with at least a $50 check, right? And the fact that I didn't get that, I'm gonna need to be a little bit. How can I put this? I was already a little bit strained. Well, I was strained because of that, right? I was kind of hoping that would offset it a little bit. I'm gonna need to drop something or other this month, and I don't want to drop the show tomorrow night, even though it's Saturday. The weather is turning, and that's so good. um, but like, there's too much stuff this month. I may have to take another run with the, you know. So but it's a process of elimination, right? And right now, I'm thinking this might be the night I drop. No guarantees on it. I need to plan around it and see what's most pressing to me. There's a night on, I think it's the 19th, where it's Eric Johnson and Ferndale, and then across the street it's Winhand. So that sounds like, and that'll be an all-nighter, right? And I think it's a Saturday, so I could even make it into town afterwards. So that's going to be a crazy night. And I want to make sure I've got some funds put aside for that. And it's like Adrian Blue the night before, and then there's Rachmaninoff a few nights afterwards. Um, and that's in addition to the festivities around the end of May, which in this region are always substantial. So, um, Pile would not be an expensive show. I want to be clear on the point. Like, it's not like it would be the most expensive in the list. In fact, it might even be the cheapest in the list. It's just it may work out to be superfluous. I saw them last year and I saw them the year before. I'm gonna listen to it a little more closely, but it's really actually going to be mostly contingent on the opening band because something I can say for sure is I'm not expecting a long set from Pile, right? Like it's gonna be like a half an hour, 40-minute set. So it's the night, especially considering going out. It's a good long walk, and etc. And it's really gonna kind of be contingent on whether the whole thing, right, is comparable to these other nights. And I think unfortunately it might end up not being. And my night out this weekend might be Saturday night instead. Saturday night there's it's a kind of a chiptune festival, right? And tomorrow night is all night for sure. So if I go for Saturday, I won't be back until Sunday morning, and because it's the buses, it won't be late. It won't be until late Sunday morning. So I'll have to hit the chiptune on Saturday night, and then hit a dance club for a few hours. I'll have to go stop and get some eggs, etc. Unless I can find somewhere that's open later. And the place that I would, the place I was planning to go to has actually closed. So, at least I think it's closed. A closer look at that. But I mean, I don't think there's kind of an all-night option. I mean, I might get there and ask around and find out that there is, and then that kind of, alleviates my concern. Um, but that's kind of the reality of it. If the opening band looks really good, then I'll go tomorrow because I already know that I like the headliner, right? Tomorrow being tonight. If not, if the opening band looks kind of shitty, I think I might stay in on Friday night and just go for Saturday. But I mean, I'll see what I feel like. I'll crunch the numbers a little bit more closely, and etc. I'll never even think about all those Beatles records. What's left is gonna pay me a little bit more if I have to throw it away. So. There's also less there, and I'm gonna get less for it. Like I said, I didn't think he'd actually take any of the Beatles records, and he took all of them, and that was the bulk of what I got paid with was all those Beatles records, right? This is 2 months in a row for me that's heavy. It'll drop off, if not in June, then well, it'll probably drop off in June, and if it doesn't drop off in June, it'll for sure drop off in July because that's how it always works, right? So, um, it'll be quiet soon. It's just how do I get to all the things I want to get to? I'm not going to get to all the things I want to get to. I know that, and it may in the end turn out that one of the things that I'm stepping back on is Pile because I've seen them repeatedly as it is, right? So, um, that's that for the night. I'm gonna get something to eat. I guess we skipped yesterday's meal because this is we're starting a new day here on Thursday. Sorry, on Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday was yesterday. So remind myself at that point. Um, get something to eat. I guess I gotta clean in the morning, and I'm planning the weekend, and I guess the rest of the month around the funds I've got. I may have to do the pill trick I did last month, although this time I'm gonna make sure that I guess I get the fucking money for I'm not going through that process again. And I will apologize yet again to the kind pharmacist who I ended up ripping off in the end, unintentionally, but I didn't want to argue the point. So, one other thing I wanted to point out before I get to what I'm doing is that I have seen a couple of little baby roaches running around. There's one at the sink here, which is a little bit concerning to me, considering they're not supposed to be able to climb. And I saw one running around in here too. That's actually expected. What it indicates is that something got a chance to lay something. Like I said, they actually live outside. This species of roach is an outside animal, right? They only come inside to breed, and when you see them in here, you gotta catch them before they drop it. When they do drop it, it's just like they don't want to live in here either. The few that will survive are gonna head outside, right? So if I end up killing 10 little baby roaches, that's probably the sack or most of it. The one that survived probably made it out and might come back here in 6 months once it's an adult, and in that phase of its life. But that's they don't want to live down here, right? And for good reason. I'm gonna kill them if I see them. It's not a good safe space to live. This is not a safe space for cockroaches. Sorry, progressives. It's just not the right place. The progressive cockroach committee is protesting. You can see them outside with their little signs. But no, this is not a soft. Sorry, maybe it is a soft space. Maybe it's a soft cell. Yeah, it's not a safe space for cockroaches at all, and they will be destroyed upon contact. But it's not. This time of year. It's not unexpected to see a little baby here and there. I just gotta make sure I grab them when I see them. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna get to living. I'm happy. I'm over the hump there. I'm just thinking. I need to. I took a walk around when I first woke up, and I can't smell anything. I'm a little bit concerned that now that the process is done, um, I'm gonna get overwhelmed by the smell. We'll find out, and I'm gonna have to be proactive about taking pictures, along with the video. Um, in the end, I think, like I said, in the end, I think she accepted my video, but I probably should have taken pictures along with them, or even done the videos, but then taken still shots. Because if the outcome of this is that, like I say, if they were modifying their habits for the court date, and they're going to turn that around and go back to what their old habits were, then we're going to go back to court, right? And I'm going to have to do it with more specific types of evidence to demonstrate my point this time. I took a position that there's no evidence that they're smoking with the doors open. But the property owner said a few things during the trial that made me second guess that. She suggested that they were angry that they were being forced to smoke with the doors closed. Well, I guess we'll have to take a walk around when the smoke gets bad and see if the doors are open or not. Because if they're open, then I'm going to have to take some pictures. And, I mean, listen, I don't want to get them evicted, okay? I've been clear from the start that I think they have the right to smoke in their apartment. Or, at the very least, I mean, they should be liable for how it affects other people, but I don't have the right to tell them where to smoke. Outside of where the law suggests they're not allowed to smoke. If they're smoking with the doors open, then that's against the law, right? And that's something that I'm going to have to use to see. I mean, that would. I've actually been trying to be very reasonable, and I think I have been very reasonable. If they're insisting on smoking with the door open, then that's unreasonable. That's an unreasonable position to take. I'm going to smoke, and I'm going to smoke with the door open, and I don't care. Well, no, that's unreasonable, okay? So if you're going to do that, if it actually turns out that they are, I don't, like I say, as far as I can tell, there's no evidence of this, but if it turns out that the previous property owner is actually correct, and they actually are smoking with the door open, well, I'm going to have to document that, I'm going to have to prove it, and I'm going to take that evidence to the existing property owners, and I'm going to have to demand they get evicted, because that's not reasonable, right? At that point, they're being unreasonable, and I'm within my rights to be aggressive about it. So, something else I'm going to be keeping an eye on for the next little bit. Hopefully, I mean, I don't want it to come to that, right? What I want is to be able to, not have to walk through through a force field of smoke on the way in and out, right? Um, anyways, like I say, that's the morning. Get something to eat. Do some listening. Plan the weekend, and we'll talk when I've got some ideas. Well, I can't say that I know what a dead cat sounds like, but that was a very upset sounding cat at the very least. I have the window. It's still dark. I guess we'll go out in the morning, and we'll have to see if there's a dead cat out there or not. That's, well, I said this a whole bunch of times, right? Can't be too many coyotes around here because there's lots of cats. What I've also had to point out is that when you have an area with a lot of cats, it's just a matter of time before coyotes show up. I wish I caught it on camera. I really wish I did. But it was gone. I think that, however, it's kind of we'll see. I'll take a look around. Like I say, in the morning when the sun comes up. If that cat's not dead, it certainly it's certainly got a fright. Anyways, um, one of the areas the cats hang out around is right in the front here. I don't think they're probably very far. So, like this is Coyote Central. Well, because it's Cat Central. It makes sense that this is where the coyotes would go, right? Yeah. We'll see in the morning. Um, I've been eating and watching YouTube videos and stuff, ranting and stuff. Nothing too exciting. I guess maybe I kind of needed to sit down and just do that. But I'll be transitioning over to cleaning down here soon too. Actually, let me update you on the opening band for Pile is called Narwhal. There's a local act. I'm not even gonna drop them, name drop them. They're just not that good. I I think I saw them. In fact, I think I may have seen them open for Pile a few years ago. I think maybe. Um, I've seen them around. I, if I haven't actually physically seen them, I've at least checked out their stuff online enough to know that it's just not my thing. Anyways, the opening act, it's kind of like a mathy, but it's maybe a little bit too emo for me. I'm gonna listen to it a few more times. I'm not particularly I wasn't immediately moved by it. I'm gonna do a more rigorous budgeting process, and we'll go from there. I'm actually leaning towards staying in tonight. We'll see. I mean, it's purely a financial thing, right? I'd go just for Pile if I had the money to blow. But it may also be one of these situations where it's like I don't have the money either way, so I might as well just go to this thing, you know. Like if it's because this is gonna be one of the cheaper shows, it may just make sense to go tonight, anyways, kind of thing, right? I don't know. We'll find out when I take a better look at it. But if I go tonight, it's probably not going to be on the strength of seeing the opening band, which I like. The mathy part seemed kind of interesting, but it's just a little bit too emo for me. Emo in the screamy sense. Just not. It's just not something I ever got to do. So we'll see though. I haven't really listened to the new Pile record either, so maybe it's really good. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so I have a choice in front of me. It's what time is it? It's 2:30. The choice I have in front of me is I can either go to see Pile tonight, which I'm actually a little bit lukewarm about, or I can go see Adrian Ballou next week. There was one night where it was Eric Johnson and some stoner rock band, some doom rock band afterwards. I thought it was the same night, but the event listing was confused, so it's different nights, meaning neither of them make sense. If I could go see Eric Johnson at 8 and then stop at the um, stoner rock band at 11:30, um, and because it's in Ferndale, I'm out of there at like 1:30, 2 o'clock. They've got the buses running all night now. That's something that changed since the last time I was out there. So then I could, you know, if the band's done at 1:30, I could walk down and catch the bus at 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm back in town by, you know, 4 o'clock or something. Get something to eat or whatever. Like there's lots of different ways around it. But if I stay at the bar until 2, until like it closes at 2, I can catch the bus either at 3. I guess I was at 3. I'm back downtown at 4. And then, like I say, I get something to eat. That's at 4:30, and I can catch a bus at 5:30. We're at 6 o'clock. That would be a pretty cool night. You could see a jazz band and then a stoner rock band. Kind of like the night that I got to see a symphony and then go dancing at a cool jazz band. That was pretty cool. That was a cool night. I like these kinds of nights where I get to schedule two things in a row. Right? They're expensive, but um, they're you know in the long run it costs less because I end up drinking less. I end up only paying uh, the border fee once. You know, it actually works out to a little bit less. I mean, if you give me the opportunity to go 2 nights in a row or get it all done in one night, it makes more sense to get it all done in one night, right? But that's not, and I wouldn't go see Art Johnson just on its own, right? I'm not familiar enough with his work. I am familiar enough with Adrian Belews' work. In fact, I missed him. I've missed him repeatedly, and I kind of want to get the chance to see him this time. This isn't a strict either or. There are some other things that may come up. I may spend less money tonight and tomorrow night. That might make it a lot easier to get to Adrian Belew. Something I'm considering, ironically, doing is selling the Adrian Belew CDs to go see Adrian Belew. I probably wouldn't actually do that, and etc. But I think that the thing that's going to tip this for me is that the weather tonight. See, if I'm going to go tonight, this is a short show, right? Its doors at 7, and the show's going to be done at 10:30. It's an early show, right? I'm getting 2 half-hour sets, so I'm going to pay to get across the border. I'm going to walk for an hour and a half because it's the long walk. I'm gonna be in there for like 2 hours, and then I'm going to walk another hour and a half back. It really only makes sense if it's a really nice night to take a walk, and it's maybe actually a little chilly. Um, that's not confirmed. Um, the weather, the weather forecasting has been terrible over the last couple of months. It was always like I'm used to when I lived in Ottawa. It was spot on. Like they got it to the degree always. And when I first moved here, it was actually usually pretty good. The rain was always kind of spotty, but I don't know if they changed their method or what. But like recently, like specifically the last couple of weeks, the weather forecast here has been just brutal. Um, it just hasn't even been close, and I'm not. That's really unusual. I mean, I get there's always a higher level of uncertainty in the spring and in the fall, right? Because you're in between. But I guess there's just been a lot of volatility, and it's just like yesterday it was supposed to be cold, and then it was supposed to be cold and rainy yesterday, and it turned out to be a beautiful, nice, sunny day, right? Like it's like we're not talking like it's normal to be off a few degrees, like maybe they'll forecast it so that it's hot and sunny and 30 degrees, and instead of being hot and sunny and 30 degrees, it's 28 degrees or 32 degrees or something, right? What's been happening recently, like yesterday's a good example. Yesterday they said it was going to be 10 degrees and raining, and it was 17 degrees and sunny. Like not even close, right? So that's really unusual, and that's the kind of thing that you should only see happen like rarely, right? But it's been happening like all the time over the last little bit, and it's like I say, I don't know if they changed the way they're forecasting it. If maybe I should consult a different forecaster or something. So I mean, I'm not at this point. I'm a little bit apprehensive because it could be warmer in the long run than they said, right? We could get a warmer day. On top of that, like I was up at 1 o'clock this morning, right? So like, do I really want to be up all night. Um, I'm a little bit raw, um, facially wise from yesterday. Um, I've got uh, a higher percentage of sores on my face than I'd like. Um, it's just that it happens from time to time, right? Um, I had to pop a few things, and it's just, so I kind of want to give that a day to heal. Like I say, it was a long walk. Um, what I mean to say is I've been awake. So the other thing is this: it's a Friday night, meaning I should have some opportunities. Like if I'm gonna go out on a Friday night, um, like I'm gonna want to go somewhere where I can be there for most of the night, at the very least, kind of thing. This is kind of even just because it's such a long walk, right? It's kind of maybe stranding me. So I mean, actually, oh no, wait, but it's only till okay. The close club, yeah, but then it's. I'm just thinking I could go to if I walk out of there right at 10:30, which is when I'm supposed to be done. Then I can get to one of the club. I get to either club by 12 around midnight-ish, right? And then I get cheap cover, but they're only open till 3. And that's weird, right? The other side of it is that if I stay there, um, I'd have to pay cover twice, which is weird to me. Like you go to a bar, you gotta pay cover. Like there's two separate parties. Like you'd think that if I pay cover in one, I can stay at the other. I mean, I know that people getting paid differently and everything. I get it, right? But I mean, from a consumer standpoint, um, like I'm gonna be shuffled out of the bar at 10:30, right? That kind of sucks. Um, so like if I wanted to stay there and have a couple of drinks, hang out for a few hours, I did just pay you $15 worth of cover. It's not so crazy to kind of want to hang out for a few hours, right? But they're shuffling people right out at 10:30. Um, that's what I might want to even consider doing is paying the other cover and seeing if I can sneak into the show, right? Um, I'm going to be hanging out and having a few drinks, but then that doesn't really seem like it's like really minimal house. Just not really. I like my techno more complex. Like even as it is, I'm kind of tired right now, right? So it's just like, sorry, this is weird there. Okay, it's just it doesn't. I'm talking myself out of it. What I would want, if I'm gonna walk all the way there, and I'm gonna get kicked at 10:30, I'd at the very least want something that's open, right? And my options are I can stay there until 2, which is $15 cover on top of it, right? So extra cover, and I'm only there till 2. So then I'm like, then I gotta get some eggs or something. That's gonna cost me more money. Um, or I can go to the club down the street. Well, it's a good distance, right? The one beside the bus station. I can go there. I'll be there early enough that it's cheap cover, but they're only there till 3. but they're only open till 3, and I'm basically in the same situation afterwards. So I could save $10 on cover maybe, um, but it doesn't really help me. I'm still largely wasting my night. Um, if I get there at midnight, I can dance for 3 hours, but then like what's the? It's too early. It's Friday night. Why are they closing at 3 on Friday night? Weird. Um, I guess what that probably means is that they don't have like DJs there tonight. I'll double check, but that's my deduction, right? If you close early on a Friday night, it's just you've just got people spinning records, right? Um, or I could go to the bar, but they're only open till 4, right? So I can get there till at around midnight, and I mean I'm there for 4 hours, but um, I'm still waiting like 2 hours for the bus. So, and I don't even know what cover it is. It doesn't even say. Could be it's usually it's never cheap cover there. It's always 15 plus. Um, so I'm still, I mean, I'm still there at 4:30, and I still got an hour and a half. I still got to get something to eat or coffee or something, right? Meaning that it really would make sense for me to just come home tonight. Um, Tomorrow night is different. In fact, it looks like that that like all night place is actually going to be open tomorrow night. I guess they dealt with the fire code. This is they're open till 7. Yeah, so that's what I want um, on a Saturday for sure. Um, I'll be there at 3 and I'll be dancing till 7 for sure. That's you know. So I'm kind of thinking I want to save my energy up for tomorrow instead. It just makes more sense. Um, the one way that can change, and I need to take a close look at the forecast. I'm gonna I guess the way that the meal cycle worked out is that I skipped a day, right? But I ate on Thursday night, and I came home and slept, and I woke up and I ate early this morning, which is, I mean, it's only a few hours later, but it's the difference between late on Wednesday night and early on Friday morning means that it's and because I'm really pushing myself today, it means yeah, I'm gonna end up skipping today. So certainly if I'm gonna go somewhere, I should take a smoothie before I go. But this isn't making sense to me for tonight. Like I say, the one way out of this is if it's nice enough out to justify the walk, but I'm not even sure I want to go for a walk at all. And I'm kind of I just don't like the idea of getting kicked out at 10:30. It's kind of a shitty deal. Especially considering like I wouldn't get there till like 9. So like I say, I gotta. If I didn't have to pay to get over the border, you know what? It's one of those situations again. Or if I had, if this was the only show this month, but um, it's kind of funny how this has worked out though, because this was the one I was planning on going to, right? It's a lot of trouble for a half-hour set. This is just the truth of it. like, don't kick people out at 10:30. It's a shitty deal. It's a really shitty deal. It's like if you're gonna schedule an event like this, you shouldn't like let there be a base. I guess there's not really a. You could pool the income in, right? I guess what they're probably thinking is that there's nobody that's gonna want to stay for those shows, right? Who would want to go see an indie rock band and then stay for house night? Well, I kind of might. If I could sneak in. See, and this is the other thing I'm thinking. Is if I can sneak in, right? I'm kind of thinking, well, why don't I take a walk down, and if I can sneak in, I'll stay, and if I can't, I'll just go home. But that relies so heavily on the walk, right? I'm actually substantially hungry, okay? This is hitting me a little bit by surprise. I shouldn't be that hungry. But then again, I guess, when did I sleep? Today's Friday. I was asleep at like 6 o'clock yesterday, and like around noon on Wednesday. I didn't skip a day. It's just forward a bit. My sleeping schedule's a bit messed up. Anyways, it's really gonna depend on how I feel in an hour or so. But I think I'm planning on staying in tonight. I've talked myself out of it, but we'll see in a few minutes. Yeah, I think that what I'm excited about tonight is not walking for an hour and a half and then an hour. I'm not excited about walking around for 3 hours tonight. What I'm excited about is sitting down for 3 hours tonight. I don't feel like going for the walk, even if it is nice out. I mean, it's one thing to say it's really nice out in February, or really nice out in March, or even really nice out in April, but we're now midway through May, and 15 degrees isn't really nice out anymore. In fact, it's a little bit unseasonably cold. So it is supposed to warm up this week. Hopefully it does. And I've got a big night planned tomorrow night. I think that's what I'm going to focus on. I don't want to go to sleep too early. I want to be out there before 8 tomorrow. The show's not till 9, but yeah. So I want to be up around noonish. So I mean, I got to stay awake for another 5 or 6 hours. See, that's the other thing, right? If I force myself to like stay awake tonight and come home after a few drinks at midnight, I'm gonna pass out, right? I want to be a little bit more alert for tomorrow. I think I may be coming out of a little bit of a post-stress, you know? I shouldn't be tired, but I am, and I think it's because I'm drained from all of the stress that kind of resolved itself yesterday, right? So, that should be a huge weight, and in a sense it does kind of feel like it is, but it's more like, I feel more like I just did a huge amount of exercise with a big weight and then took it off, so I'm still, it's not, I mean, if you think about it, like, if you think about the analogy for a minute, if you take a huge weight off of your shoulders, you're not going to feel, like, immediately relieved. You're going to be sore for a bit, right? It's going to hurt when you take that big weight off your shoulder. And it kind of feels more like that. On top of that, I mean, the weight isn't lifted either. I mean, it's still I don't really have an answer yet. But either way, I don't. Not tonight. I think I'll be more into it tomorrow. So that's the story of that. What am I going to do tonight? I kind of just want to sit and watch YouTube. I know, it's such a waste of time. I should probably get back to doing some editing of some sort. And once I can kind of work that back to it, I may even be able to get back to a little bit of the concert reviews. I won't be able to do it right now. I'm gonna have to let that. There's a couple of things that will need to be done in the editing realm first. But if I can even get that, it's like I say, it's not even. I'm not even really feeling tired. I'm just feeling like drained, and it's just like I'm sore. And maybe like it's not like I did a lot of exercise. I mean, well, I've done a fair amount of walking last week, I guess, and I'm gonna do a fair amount of walking. I generally do a fair amount of walking. I don't know, but I'm sore, and I just want to stay in tonight. So that's what I'm doing. Hope you enjoyed the talk, but I'm just gonna spend the rest of the night sitting in there in front of the machine doing various things.